Hi, I'm Patty Finney with ESU 17, and in this mini lesson, I am going to show you how Quizlet can enhance your vocabulary lessons. So I am going to use a browser and go to Quizlet.com, and you can create a free teacher account. They do have a paid version. I think Quizlet Teacher that costs like $35 for a year, or I think it's actually $34.99. And that way you would be able to track student progress. But everything I'm showing you today is just with the free account. So I have created some study sets. So if I just click on one of those study sets, you will see that there's several different options you can do to learn with those sets. And some of them even include some games that some students really love. I'm going to talk about this new diagram feature last. But I'm in the Learn category, so here is my set. You see, you just type in the word and the definitions. This program will read it to you.
An input device that enters data with letters, numbers, symbols, and special function keys.
Okay, if I need to edit, if there's any mistakes, you can use the pencil to edit. So this is my deck, and I can add and remove terms to that. So one way to do this is you could create your vocabulary decks, or you can rotate around the room who would be responsible for putting it into Quizlet. I know several teachers that do that. So one of the study features is the flashcards, which is handy because you can study, you can use Quizlet on any device, so on a mobile phone, on an iPad, so you could actually access these flashcard sets anywhere. So if someone's at a ball game, or if you're at the grocery store waiting in line, students can have access to them and not have to carry the physical flashcards. So you can see the flashcards. It can read it to me if I need that.
An input device that enters data with letters, numbers, symbols, and special function keys.
I can click to flip what it is. So I can study very quietly by myself. I can go to the next card and study flashcards that way, just like you would paper pencil, but it's just an electronic version of flashcards. There's also a write practice. So basically you just type in your answer. So device for converting sound waves into electronical energy would be a microphone, I believe. And then I can check my answer, and it tells me it's correct. Again, I can have it say that, speak to me if I need that. So that's another option. There is a spell option, so if you really want your students
microphone
to be able to spell all the words correctly, they can practice their spelling.
Keyboard.
Okay, so that's just pretty self-explanatory there. You can also have them, after they've practiced, like maybe they have the week to practice and play games, and then you could also do your tests right there in Quizlet. So when you set up your test, there's different options. I'm not sure why maybe it's because I've already had this one set up, but you can tell it how many written responses you want, or multiple choice, what type of questions you want. So for example, if I quickly took this test, so this would actually be my mouse. Electronic trend. So maybe this is my speaker. I can't remember what these are, multiple choice. This would be my keyboard, the portable digital player. The only one could be would be the iPod. Converting sound waves into, I think that's true. A machine for performing calculations automatically, a computer. That's true. And then I can check my answers. Oh, sorry, I did miss that one. So if you wanted to have your students take the assessments on Quizlet, that's fine. You could very easily have them go to File and Print, and then they would actually have that printout to print off, and they could turn that in. Again, if you had the paid version, it would track those scores for you. The matching, the game part is what the students really like, so you want to make everything disappear. So basically, a hand-operated electronic that coordinates the cursor, you just drag over and then they disappear. So they like it, just kind of like the memory match game. It adds the gaming feature to your classroom. The gravity is another one that's nice. You have to protect the planet from incoming asteroids. So you get started, you can tell it whether you're going to want to type in the term or the definition. You can tell it this kind of is the speed of it. It could be all of them, or if they've been missing certain ones that you could star them back at that learned option. So we go, let's go. It says, watch out for the red asteroids. So you see there's a box to type my answer when it starts coming down. So iPod. Oh. About got me. So you can see it adds that gaming feature. And then the Quizlet Live we're going to talk about in a different video. So Quizlet is an easy way that once those decks are in there, they're stored. There's a lot of decks that are already created. So if I come back, there's a lot of public Quizlet flashcards. I think maybe if I just go to Quizlet, I can search, and maybe I want one on, oh, give me an example of, maybe I want one on sight words. See if I can find. So sight words. So there's certain decks that are already created. You can find Quizlet decks, you can create your own, and then you have all sorts of practice and game and even assessment options. Give it a try. Thanks.